the medical examiner's office is trying to clean some of these Jane Doe cases up. She was one that came right to the forefront. We're hoping that we can possibly extract some DNA to identify her or locate some of her family.
Jane Doe 1947 was found 3.5 miles north of the intersection of US 51 and 8. Few details from the original investigation are publicly available on NamUs, the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. There was a gold band on her left finger, possibly a wedding ring, and she was found wearing a corset, pants, and a slip. Jane Doe 1947 had been found laying in a grave after putrefaction began.
The conditions so far are going to be a little bit more difficult because she's been in the ground for some time.
74 years underground in an old grave means investigators will have to sift through everything dug up, making sure Jane Doe 1947 isn't left behind.
Obviously, they have other cases that take precedence over this one. And realistically, what's going to end up happening in the end is we're going to have to probably use a private lab to do the familial DNA matches.
The team worked for hours with agencies from around the area, assisted by the FBI's evidence team.
The FBI will do the initial extraction, and then that profile gets put into the CODIS system, which checks for knowns, people who have already submitted their DNA into that system. And then from there, the use of a private lab, that's where we would match it through Ancestry, 23andMe, and the more accessible labs out there for the DNA for the general public.
Those labs have helped solve cases like this before. The infamous Golden State Killer was caught 32 years after his last known attack. At least 51 cold rape and murder cases were closed in 2020 thanks to this investigative approach. The technique is new, but is quickly heating up icy cold cases around the country and here in Oneida County.
And this person has family out there somewhere, and that's our goal, is to find this person's family so we can get her home. Somebody is looking for her somewhere. Somebody always is asking whatever happened, and we would like to provide some answers to that.
You can see they're still working behind me. After everything is finished here, samples will be sent off to the FBI and analyzed. Could take months, maybe even years before we have answers in the identity of Jane Doe 1947. Justin?